This is The Cousins by Kieran M. McManus, Chapter 3. Jonah. I'm going to be late. I've been in this car for almost 3 hours, driving 75 miles through stop-and-go traffic from Providence to Hyannis. It's been the longest, most expensive trip of my life. Typical last weekend in June, my driver, Federico, says as we crawl through Saturday morning Cape Cod traffic. He brakes as the light we were about to pass through turns yellow. What can you do, right? I grit my teeth. You could have run that light, for starters. Frederico waves a hand. Not worth it. Cops are everywhere today. Google Maps says we're just over a mile away from the ferry that will take me to Gull Cove Island. But even when you get through the red light, the line of cars ahead of us barely moves. I'm supposed to leave in 10 minutes, I say, hunching forward until my knees bump the seat in front of me. Whoever last rode shotgun in Federico's car likes a lot of legroom. Are we gonna make it? Well, he hedges. I'm not positive we're not gonna make it. I suck in a frustrated breath and start stuffing papers back into the folder I'm holding. It's full of press clippings and printouts about Gull Cove and Mildred's story. Mostly the island, though, because Mildred's practically a recluse. The only social event she ever shows up for is the annual summer gala at Gull Cove Resort. There's a picture of her in the Gull Cove Gazette at last year's event, wearing a giant dramatic hat and gloves like she's the Queen of England. Donald Camden, her lawyer, and her sender of the infamous "You Know What You Did" letter, is standing next to her. He looks like the kind of smug asshole who would enjoy the job. Mildred is now best known for being a patron of the arts. Apparently, she's got a massive private collection of paintings and sculptures, and she spends a ton of money supporting local artists. She's probably the only reason there's still an artist community on that overpriced pile of rocks they call an island. She has that thing going for her, at least. The back of the folder has a few things related to Aubrey, Millie, and their parents. Old reviews from Adam Story's book, coverage of Aubrey's swimming meets, and an article about Toshi Takahashi making partner in one of New York's biggest law firms. I even dug up an old New York Times vows column on his and Allison Story's wedding almost 20 years ago. Nothing about their divorce, though. It's a little weird, maybe, to be carting all this around, but I don't know these people, and when I don't know something, I study it. I shove the folder into my duffel bag and zip it up. It's one of those oversized bags meant to see a kid through 2 weeks of summer camp. It has to last me 2 months, but I don't have much. Don't you know any back roads? I asked Federico. We're down to 8 minutes. These are the back roads, Federico says, glancing at me in the rear view mirror. How fast are you? What? Can you run a 5-minute mile? Shit, I exhale as his meaning hits me. You can't be serious. We're not moving, kid. If I were you, I'd make a run for it. Desperation turns my voice into a snarl. I have a bag. Federico shrugs. You're in good shape, aren't you? It's either that or you miss your ferry. When's the next one? 2.5 hours. I look at his dashboard. 7 minutes to go and make up my mind. Fuck it, I'm going. A mile isn't that long, right? How bad could it be? Better than being stuck at a dock for almost 3 hours. Federico brakes so I can get out, and I loop the straps of my bag around my shoulders like an oversized backpack. He points out to the window. The GPS says it's on the right. Should be a straight shot along this road. Good luck. I don't answer, just take off for the grass at the side of the road and start running. For about 30 seconds, it's fine, and then everything goes to hell. The bag's thumping too hard against my back. I can feel rocks through the thin soles of my cheap sneakers, and my lungs start burning. Frederico was wrong. I am not in shape. I look it because I spend hours every day hauling boxes, but I haven't flat out run in a long time. My lung capacity sucks, and it's getting worse by the minute. But I keep by the second. But I keep going, lengthening my strides because it doesn't feel like I'm getting anywhere near fast enough. My throat is so dry that it aches, and my lungs feel ready to explode. I pass a cheap motel, a seafood restaurant, and a mini golf course. The air is hot and muggy, the kind that settles over your skin even when you're standing still, and sweat coats my hair and pastes my t-shirt to my chest. This was a big mistake. Huge. How am I going to explain collapsing on the side of a Cape Cod road to my parents? Somehow, I'm still running, my bag whacking me painfully with every step, my eyes sting with sweat, and I can barely see, but I keep blinking until I make out the edge of a squat white building. It looms closer, and I spy a cobblestone path and a sign that says Steamship Authority. I don't know how much time has passed, but I'm here. I drag myself to the ticket window, panting. A woman behind the glass, a blonde with heavy makeup and teased bangs, looks at me with amusement. Ease up on the heavy breathing, handsome. You're too young for me. Ticket, I gasp, digging into my pocket for my wallet. For the 120. She shakes her head, and my pounding heart drops to my feet. Then she says, "You like to cut things close, don't you? You almost missed it. That'll be $18. I don't have enough breath left to thank her. I pay, grab my ticket, and push through the doors into the station. It's bigger than I thought, so I pick up my pace to the exit, one hand pressing against the stitch in my side. There's a 50-50 chance I'm gonna hurl before I get on this boat. When I reach the dock, there's hardly anyone on it, just a few people waving at the ferry. A guy in a white shirt and dark pants is standing at the entrance of a walkway connecting the dock to the boat. He checks his watch on either side of the walkway. Then he looks up and catches sight of me, lunging toward him with my ticket outstretched. Don't do it, I think. Don't be a dick. He takes my ticket and unclips the chain. Made it in the nick of time. Bon voyage, son. Not a dick. Thank Christ. I stagger up the pier and through the ferry's entrance, almost groaning with relief at the air-conditioned chill that meets me, and collapse in a bright blue sea. I dig inside my bag for my water bottle, unscrew the top, and drain almost the entire thing in 3 long gulps. Then I pour the rest over my head. Note to self, take up running this summer, because that was pathetic. My fellow passengers all ignore me. They look primed for vacation, wearing baseball caps, flip-flops, and t-shirts with what I've come to realize is the unofficial Gull Cove Island logo. A circle with the silhouette of a gull inside and the 3 letters GCI above it. I keep still until my breathing returns to normal, then pull a Gull Cove Island tourist brochure out of my bag and flip to the transportation section in the middle. The ride is 2 hours and 20 minutes, and we'll pass Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket along the way. Gull Cove Island is smaller than either of them, which is saying something, since Nantucket is only 14 miles long, and what the brochure calls more remote and rugged. Fewer hotels and worse beaches. I put the brochure away and survey the crowd. It looks like people are just leaving their luggage wherever, so I stuff my bag under my seat and get up. Might as well check the place out. I head for a staircase next to the snack bar, and my stomach instantly growls. I haven't eaten anything since breakfast, and that was 5 hours ago. Upstairs looks almost the same, with a staircase that goes to the top deck. That's open air, and everyone is clustered around the railings that overlook the ocean. It's overcast, threatening rain, but the air that was choking me on shore is crisp and salt-scented here. Seagulls cry above the boat with noisy cries. Water stretches smoothly on every side of us, and for the first time in a month, this doesn't seem like the worst idea I've ever had. I'm more thirsty than I am hungry, so I decide to head back downstairs and get something to drink from the snack bar. I'm preoccupied digging for my wallet to check how much cash I have on me, and almost bump into somebody who's heading up as I'm going down. "Watch it," says a girl's voice. "Sorry," I mumble, then I look up and gulp. Hey, hi. At first, all that registers is that this girl is drop dead gorgeous. Dark hair, dark eyes, and full lips curved in a smirk that should probably be annoying but isn't. She's wearing a bright red sundress and sandals, with sunglasses holding back her hair, and a large man-sized watch on one wrist. And oh, oh shit! I can't believe I blanked for a second. I know exactly who this is. "You mean hi?" she asks. The smirk gets bigger, possibly a little flirty. "Are you sure?" I step back, forgetting I'm on a staircase and nearly fall. I take a few seconds to consider my predicament while I grasp the railing to steady myself. I was hoping to avoid this particular person at least until we got to Gull Cove. But now that I've almost literally run into her, I guess there's no going back. "I'm sure," I say. "Hello, Millie." She blinks in surprise. Behind us, someone clears his throat. "Excuse me," calls a gruff voice. "I'm trying to get downstairs." I turn to see an old guy in plaid shorts and a red Sox baseball cap hovering behind me, one foot on the top step. "Hang on, we're going up," I say and reverse course. He steps aside to let me pass, and I lean against the wall of an alcove beside the staircase. Millie follows, her hands on her hips. "Do I know you?" Crap, I can't believe I was just checking her out. I don't think she minded either. Awkward. "Yeah, well, sort of. I'm Jonah." I hold out my hand, her eyes widen, and she doesn't take it. "Jonah Story?" "Jonah Story?" she repeats. "Your cousin?" I clarify. Millie stares at me for a beat, then takes my hand so gingerly that her fingers barely graze mine. "You're Jonah?" "Yes." "Really?" I let annoyance edge into my voice. It's my trademark, after all. "Do you have auditory issues?" I responded affirmatively multiple times. Her eyes narrow. "Oh, there you are. I got a little confused by this whole—" She waves a hand near my face. "J. Crew model look that you have going on. I have to admit, that's unexpected. I thought you'd look how you talk." I'm not going to rise to the bait and ask her what she means, but she keeps going without prompting, like a constipated gnome. Points for creativity, I guess. "Nice to meet you too." Her nose wrinkles as she looks me up and down. "Why are you all sweaty?" I resist the urge to sniff myself to see if I smell. From the look on her face, I probably do. "I don't see how that's any of your business." "Why are you even here? I thought you didn't see any points in arriving in tandem." I fold my arms, wishing I'd never come upstairs. Talking to her is wearing me out. I'm not sure how much longer I can keep it up. My schedule changed. Millie clucks her tongue a few times before lifting her hand in a beckoning motion. "Come on then, you might as well meet Aubrey." I'm not in the mood for more people, and it must show on my face because she rolls her eyes and says, "Trust me, she's not going to enjoy it any more than you are." I don't think. "Hey," another voice breaks in. "There you are. Thought I'd lost you." It's a girl my age wearing a short-sleeved blue hoodie and gym shorts, her blonde hair pulled back into a low ponytail. She has serious freckles, the kind that cover not just her nose and cheeks, but her entire body. I've seen her face throughout the new clippings in my folder, although she's usually wearing a swim cap. Aubrey's smile, aimed at Millie, widens when she notices me. "Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt." "You're not," Millie says quickly. She gestures toward me like she's a game show host giving away a prize nobody wants. "Guess what? This is no Jonah." Aubrey's brows shoot up. She glances uncertainly between Millie and me. "Really?" Millie shrugs. "Apparently." Aubrey's eyes are still ping-ponging between us. Even when she's not smiling, there's something friendly about her face. And honest. She looks like she'd be a terrible liar. "Are you guys messing with me?" Time for me to talk again. "Sorry, I don't splash my face all over social media like a mindless lemming desperate for attention." "Oh," Aubrey nods. "Okay then. Hi, Jonah." She looks back at Millie, whose eyes keep wandering to the ocean like she's weighing the pros and cons of pushing me overboard. "You don't really look like a story." "I look like my mother," I tell her. Aubrey sighs and brushes a strand of windswept, pale hair out of one eye. "Me too." Then she takes a deep breath and steadies herself, like she's about to dive into a frigid pool. "Come on, let's go downstairs and sit for a while. Might as well get to know one another." Half an hour later, Millie's had it. I don't know her well enough to be sure, but I'd bet everything I have that she's taken an instant, profound dislike to me. Mission accomplished, I guess. "I'm getting a drink," she says, rising from our window booth on the first floor. "Aubrey, do you want anything? Or to come with?" I expect Aubrey to take off too, but she's distracted. Every once in a while, like right now, her entire face droops as she stares intently at her phone. She's looking for something, and she keeps getting disappointed. "No thanks," she murmurs. Millie heads for the stairs, and silence descends as Aubrey swipes methodically at her phone. Mine buzzes in my pocket, and I dig it out to a text from a contact I've saved as JT. "How's everything going?" Every muscle in my body tenses as I reply, "Fine." "That's all you have to say?" I could say fuck you, I think, but all I type back is yep, gotta go. I ignore the buzz of a new text and stuff my phone back into my pocket as Aubrey lifts both hands to tug on her ponytail, pulling it tighter. Sorry about Genius Camp, she says. What? She tilts her head. That's what Millie and I call that science camp you wanted to go to. Do you think you'll get another chance, like next summer maybe? Or is that too late? Too late, I say. The whole point was to enhance the college application process. Without Millie here, I can't inject as much disdain into my words as I want to. Being sarcastic to Aubrey feels like kicking a puppy. That's too bad. I wasn't sure you'd come, to be honest. You seemed pretty determined not to. Turns out I didn't have a choice. I guess none of us did, Aubrey says. She crosses a leg over one knee and jiggles her foot, staring out the window at the darkening sky. It's 35 miles from Hyannis to Gull Cove Island, and it looks like we're headed for stormier weather. What's your dad like? Uncle Anders. She says the name like he's a movie character. I think I last saw you guys when I was 5. I can't remember him at all. He's intense. Aubrey's blue eyes take on a faraway expression. My dad talks about yours the least of anyone, like he probably has the most in common with Aunt Allison, and he seems to feel sort of protective about Uncle Archer. But your dad, he barely mentions him. I don't know why. I swallow and lick my lips. I'm on unsteady ground and not sure how much to say. My dad, he was always kind of the odd man out, you know. I think he felt that way, at least. Are you guys close? To that asshole? No way. I swallowed the truth and try for a nonchalant shrug. Ish. You know how it is. I do, especially lately. Rain starts spattering against the window next to us, and Aubrey cups her hand against it to peer outside. Do you think she'll meet us at the dock? Millie, I say. What, you think she found better company till then? Here's hoping. No, Aubrey says, laughing a little. Gran. The laugh catches me off guard. Aubrey and I are getting comfortable with one another, and that's not good. In the words of every reality contestant ever, I'm not here to make friends. Yeah, right, I snort. She never even bothered to send a follow-up letter. Aubrey's face clouds. You too? I wrote her 6 times and heard nothing. I wrote 0 times. Same result. It's so cold, Aubrey shivers a little, but I know she's not talking about the temperature. I don't understand. It's bad enough that the first time she ever contacted us, she made a job offer, like we're hired help instead of family. But then she can't even be bothered enough to stay in touch. What's the point of all of this if she's not interested in getting to know us? Cheap labor. I mean it as a joke, but Aubrey's mouth just turns down further. I'm about to make an excuse to leave when I catch flash of red on the stairs. Millie's back. That should get me moving even faster, but for some reason, I stay put. Here you go, cousins. Millie is balancing 4 plastic cups, one full of clear liquid and garnished with a lime wedge, and 3 that are empty except for the ice. She settles next to Aubrey and starts evening out the cups, pouring the full one into the other 3 until it's empty. When she's finished, she hands 1 cup to me and 1 to Aubrey. Cheers to, I don't know, finally meeting the mysterious Mildred, I guess. We all clink cups and Aubrey takes a long swig of hers. Ugh, she spits it right back out. Millie, what is this? Millie hands her a napkin, unfazed. She plucks the lime garnish from the empty cup and squeezes juice into each of ours. Sorry, forgot the lime. A gin and tonic. Seriously? Aubrey grimaces and sets her cup down on the table. Thanks, but I don't drink. How'd you get alcohol? I have my ways. Millie watches as a line of people stream down the staircase from the upper deck to escape rainstorm, then focuses her attention on Aubrey and me. So, now that we've covered all the surface stuff, let's get real. What aren't we telling each other? My throat gets dry. Huh? Millie shrugs. This entire family is built on secrets, right? It's the Story legacy. You guys probably have some juicy ones. She tilts her cup toward me. Spill. I glance at Aubrey, who's gone pale beneath her freckles. I feel a muscle in my jaw start to twitch. I don't have any secrets, I say. Me either, Aubrey says quickly. Her hands are clenched tight in her lap, and she looks like she's about to either throw up or cry. I was right. She's a terrible liar, even worse than I am. Millie isn't interested in going after Aubrey, though. She pivots towards me and leans forward, her big watch sliding down her arm as she cups her chin in her hand. Everybody has secrets, she says, taking a sip of her drink. That's non-debatable. The only question is whether you're keeping your own or someone else's. A bead of sweat gathers on my forehead, and I resist the urge to wipe it away as I gulp down half my drink. I don't like gin, but any port in a storm seems like a solid metaphor right now. I try for a half-bored, half-irritated expression. Can it be both? Rain lashes the window behind Millie as her eyes lock on mine. With you, Jonah? She asks, raising one perfectly arched brow. I'm guessing it can. And that was chapter 3 of The Cousins by Karen M. McManus.